Good afternoon. Welcome. It is Club Call. John and myself taking you through the next hour or so. Your chance to get in touch with us on anything you want to speak about. The link is there to give us a call, whether you are a Premier member or you are a YouTube member. Both of you have earned the right to get in touch with us. We are ready to have a chat, whether it's football, whether it's season tickets, whether it's the budget. No, it's not the budget. Not the budget. Let us know. But just on the season tickets, John, we haven't spoken about the season tickets since it come out yesterday. What's your feelings on the overall plan of transitioning to the new stadium?
Oh, they didn't give us an overall plan, did they? But I think I know what you mean. I think our football club's great, right? Because I think it's stuck in a mindset that the vibrancy of our fan base being what it is, no matter what you do, some people are always going to be upset about it, right? Now, that can take you down a horrible route, doesn't it? That means you don't care. I actually think it also makes it easier, or should make it easier, for the club to do what they think is right, knowing that at least they know they've done the right thing. And the inevitable pushback from winners and losers, if such a thing exists.
Right? Ned, what have you done with that camera?
I don't know. I'm not turned it on today, and it's just cut John's head.
It's just distracting. You know what I mean? So on that basis, and to some degree, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. I mean, I've heard stories of, people saying, well, there's 12 of us and we all want to sit together. I can't think of any mechanism that would come up with that if they've all got different periods of tenure, right? I think they listened to some of the feedback they got, particularly, I think, the one I was able to contribute to, which was the shareholders one back in March time, when we tried to give some views about treatment of shareholders, which is clearly selfish, but also treatment of younger people. And I think the way they've dealt with that is quite good.
Yeah.
Where a percentage almost of how long of your short life you've been a season ticket holder gets converted into a period of tenure. I think inevitably that means there's a cut-off as well. If they choose 18 to be when you don't benefit from that, and you were 18 yesterday, it's a bit of a problem for you. And if you're 18 in 3 months' time, it's not. So there's always going to be that. And I don't know whether they're going to have a mechanism for almost quietly dealing with anomalies around fairness. But ultimately, you can't have a situation where everybody's going to be able to go onto a website and sit with their 27 mates, because it's just too difficult if they're all different tenures. If they're all the same tenure, it's easy. And I think a little bit that's getting lost here. And I don't know, you got a briefing yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did they give you any indication of how many 23-year season ticket holders there are?
No,
I don't know.
They didn't actually know.
I don't know, but I think the thing worth bearing in mind, and being one of those, and you are as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
I would just say, well, the people who've been season ticket holders for longer are getting first dibs. And that's right. And the next group after that, realistically, are youngsters who, not being born, can't be held against them, can it? And they've dealt with that as well. Everyone else in between, for whatever reason, determined for themselves when they got a season ticket. And I just think when it comes to it, because the ground is too small in seat numbers, but it's substantially bigger than what we already have, that everybody will get a chance to sit with their mates if they want to. And maybe, just maybe, and this is where perhaps a little bit of insight, and hopefully we're going to do an interview with the data scientist across there, but some insight over how nervous do you need to be about if you're 23 years and your best mate who you want to sit with's only got 15, can you afford to wait? And maybe don't panic is going to be the mantra for this. I don't know.
Well, that was the message given to us.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
okay.
That was because I think on it. I think a lot of people are going to be worried in terms of like the year that 23 years, because at 23 years, the reason why it's 23 years is because that's when the customer numbers came. That's when everything.
When they put in the
new system.
New system, yeah.
So everything before that, I imagine, was paper, and they just won't have a record of.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. They won't have a record of it. But I think a lot of people are like, 23 years. We've got 23 years. Baz has got 23 years. But then they go, but Baz has got a son.
And I've got a granddaughter.
Yeah,
two.
And we've all, anyone who's got 23 is likely to have a child who goes to match with them.
You've got nephews.
I've got a nephew and a niece now. Funny enough, my niece has got 23 years, which is crazy. But my nephew has got like 15 years. So there's going to be so many people with 23 years that are going to be held back. So the idea of how many people straight off the bat, there might be loads of people like, well, I only go with me and my mate. We've gone on the match for years. We haven't got anyone else with us. But there's not going to be thousands and thousands of them, because at some point everyone's going to be cut in by one person, and I imagine the club already know that, and I think that's why they're saying don't panic. The first group, the one, I think it'll go from the first group to the second group very, very quickly.
How many are going to be in each group?
I don't know. I haven't got that. Again, I think we're not going to know that.
We're not getting long though, are we?
No, you've got a week. You've got till November the 5th. So
no, I mean, even when it comes to picking your seat, you're not going to have forever, are you?
No, I don't think so. So you've got a week anyway. You've got till next Tuesday to clarify that your data really isn't correct. If it's not correct, you've got till next Tuesday. And then the club will probably have a little bit of time to work all that out. And then I think we're going to get, by the end of the year, we should have all had our emails telling us where we are and when we can
select seats.
Yeah. And I wonder how, I think it might be maybe, I don't know, as much as a week maybe to select our seats. And then again, how does that work? Do we select our seats and not pay? And then they come back to us?
I think you pay at the same time, I think.
So again, I don't know how we do that though, because if we're in groups of people and it's friends, do we individual...
Mate, you're all going to have to sit around a laptop like you're trying to get Taylor Swift's seats, yeah.
So we're going to... No, but I'm sure we'll have like a week each to put what we want in and then...
Yeah, but you'll have to do it in a session if you want to sit with people, aren't you?
Yeah.
You can't ring up whoever and say, I've got row 7, seat 3, quick, get seat 4. Oh, it's gone.
No, you'll need probably one person who's the main...
In control
of it. And then probably the following week will be... Now, I don't know what's the block's going to be. Is it going to be 23 and then 22 to 20? And then is it going to be 20 to 15? And are the blocks going to get bigger as it goes down, or are they going to get closer? None of us actually know this.
I think the only thing perhaps we can guess right now is that the only group, if you like, a tenure group, who can be assured that there won't be others mixed in with them is the 23s, isn't it? But you would tend to assume it's going to be 23, 22, 20, but clearly by definition that would take 23 weeks to do, wouldn't it? Which is way too long. So they'll do them sizable groups, I suppose. But you could still have the chances, I suppose, following that logic, there's someone who's, I don't know, got 17 years gets to pick their seat before someone who does 18 simply because they're sat by a laptop when the clock goes ting, it's your turn, you know. And then the system will crash, mate, anyway. So,
well, I think that's why it'll all be done over a week. And again, but also, I think there's this idea that everyone will want tickets in a certain place, and I just don't think that's true.
No.
You know, the South Stand lower is, again, I've seen a few people comment on the South Stand lower, and it's like, all the people from certain areas will want to go in there. It's like, mate, if you don't want to stand, don't be going in the south because it's a standing area. You know, I had people yesterday querying me over, well, standing areas are not legal. I was like, what are you talking about? They've got them all over the Premier League. There's one in the Cop. You know, again, people misinformed, maybe not, because we haven't got one at Goodison.
Simply because we're moving, yeah.
Yeah, so the lower the lower south is standing. It's a we already know that. I mean, we know that anyway, but even there's a wall in the middle that separates the seating from the standing.
That makes it easy for people if they look at drones and stuff about which bits are going to be seated and which are going to be standing. If you just take that wall as an example, everything below it are rail seats. Now, not everyone who's in rail seats is going to stand, but you have to assume that they will.
Well, you're going to have to.
Well, I've just got visions of people who pick the far outreachers may get to, let's put it this way, they may get to sit down more often than the people who are right behind the goal.
If you,
was it 6,000 or 7,000?
I'm not being funny, but if you pick the lower, you
are going to spend.
You're standing. Everyone will stand. Everyone stands on the Gladys seat now.
Oh, there you go.
So, and we're not supposed to stand. So everyone is standing. And if you complain then you're the one in the wrong. It's a standing area, and it should be sold as a standing area. So, of course, that's not going to suit everybody, and then that means the south, back of the south might be where people go,
I want to be on the ball, but I don't want to,
But then there might be people who say, well, you know what? I want to be behind the goal, but I want to be right behind the goal.
You know where the prime position's going to be in that context? The front row of the seated bits, right? In the south stand, I mean.
Okay.
So the 23-year people are all going to grab them, aren't they?
Yeah, maybe.
Because they'll have first dips.
But then there's people who might want to be right behind the goal but sitting down, so they'll have to go in the north stand. So people might.
I see what you mean. Right.
So people might be like, "Oh, I don't want to be in the north."
They want a park end equivalent.
Yeah, but that's where they're going to have to go, and people might. So
because what we've got now is got Gladys Street, which is the lower, as you say, predominantly, if not all, stand, and then the park end, which is the equivalent at the other end, is predominantly seated.
Yeah.
So that'd be the north stand equivalent, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Right, we've got Gaz.
Oh, Gaz, great.
Good if we can hear him, Ned.
Yeah.
He's got his mic on mute.
Guys, you've got your mic on mute.
Can you hear
me now?
Yeah.
There you go.
I can't hear him, Ned, so you need to put me on.
I can.
Otherwise, it'd be a bit silly, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Hang on.
Ned's like last club call. Thanks for this, Ned.
Don't know who Ted's going to blame next week. Yeah.
Put them back in your pod and check them out.
Oh, thanks for. Oh, turn them on and turn them back on again, basically.
Well, it works fine for me. How are you, Gaz, anyway?
Yeah, not bad, John. You?
Hello?
It's because these have just gone in.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you're a problem, aren't you?
I'm not a problem.
Guys just
Hello,
put in the
can you hear
chat
me?
then last time we're messaging here. I put,
Go on.
no, I'll come.
Go on.
Because you're leaving. Oh, yeah. Are you there, Gaz?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Right.
Go on.
Fortunately, I can hear you as well.
Go on, Gaz.
Go for it.
Yeah, I was just. This isn't my thing, but they just went, "This is the last time we'll message you." He went, "How come?" I went, "Because you're leaving." Like you never knew.
I thought you were going to tell me you're like terminal or something. Like, oh no.
And by the way, Massey, while you're at Bonnevere, "I Can't Make You Love Me" was a song by Bonnie Raitt.
That was it. Bonnie Raitt, yeah.
Nice one
There
for that,
you go.
Gaz, yeah.
This is the Gaz and Ned show, this now.
Go on. Go on, Gaz.
I was listening to it before and I was screaming out. Dice. Again.
Go on.
It's just a weekly occurrence.
Fabulous manager.
There must be better. There's got to be better than him out there.
Mm.
I don't care if we've got new owners coming in and they're trying to hold off.
Yeah.
We can't put up with this until that happens, because we're in the relegation battle. I know we're not down there, and I don't think we'll go down, but we are down there, and the longer we continue with him, surely getting rid of him will make us more desirable to new owners, whoever we put in place.
Yeah, but we've got a new owner, haven't we?
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially. Thank you, John. We haven't yet.
Yeah, but we have though. If it falls through, it falls through because of something that is nothing to do with them. Let's get it right.
No, I agree with that. Gaz, though, you're going to have to come to terms with it, mate. They're not. The club is not. Sorry, start again. The club is not sacking the manager because they're waiting for new owners. They're not sacking him because they don't think he should be sacked.
On what level?
On the level that they probably think he's doing a good enough job to keep his job. And the points haul is pretty close to what we would expect him to deliver. What you're talking about...
Do you believe that?
Well, I believe personally that he will deliver the same sort of points haul he has for 500 and odd games, which is about 1.3 points per game. And at 1.3 points per game, we're not going to get relegated.
And do you think that's acceptable?
Which bit? The points gain?
Either. Aiming not just to be relegated or
I'm
1.3 points per game.
No, well, I'm not talking about avoiding relegation as their objective. And I regularly have chats with people on social media who actually do believe that actually the only objective is to stay in the division. And I think that's awful, right? When we talked about this pre-season, my view was that having secured 48 points last season, the manager should be expected in less trying circumstances to deliver a better outcome. And that better outcome, I said quite simply, was, well, a modest increase in the number of points that he achieves is 10% increase. And that would be about 53 points. And if we achieved 53 points, we would see that as progress, right? So that's where I come at it from a points point of view. What you're talking about is the dire style of play, which clearly comes across, and it does to me as well, as being the style of play is not important at all because the only thing we're seeking to do is to stay in the division. And I think that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy if you behave like that. And I think, therefore, the leadership or the culture of the club may just be that they all think the same, which is the primary objective. Nothing wrong with having the primary objective of staying in the division. You could say Man City start the season every season with that. They never say it because clearly they're going to win it, right? But if the primary objective is staying in the division, that doesn't become the only objective, does it?
No.
It can't do. And I think that's the rut we've got ourselves stuck into, Gaz, to be honest. I don't know what you think, but and that turns into the emotive. It's all this manager's fault.
Yeah, and for me, it's not one or the other. It's you win points, obviously. Win games, play good football, but winning points is the most important. But we're not winning points, and we're playing shite.
Well, we've won points in the last 5 games, mate, because we're undefeated. So we are winning points.
9 points out of 9 games. Is that really our ambition? Is that really
No, you're mixing the messages up now.
11.7 is what they wanted from the 9 games.
Where'd you get that from?
It's 1.3.
Oh, I see. You've just done the sums on it.
That's 1.3.
So his career average would have been was sitting on 12
If we
points.
win on Saturday, we'd be like a point behind where that hit. Because you don't... The thing is, guys, you appoint a manager based on what their facts are, aren't you? And the facts are that he averages 1.3. Is it acceptable? No. Is it good enough? No. Is the football good enough? Absolutely not. But they made the decision to appoint him for 1.3 points because why else would you appoint him? 1.3 points per game keeps you safe in the Premier League. And I have it on absolute face value that their only ambition for this season is to keep Everton in the Premier League. And
well, whoever's giving you that face value, that's not good enough.
I know, mate. I know it's not.
We'll all agree on that.
The man who appointed him told me that to my face. So
that'll be Kevin Thelwell then.
I can't say that.
You just said he appointed him.
No, I can't say that.
Okay.
He said that to my face. The objective this season is get to the new stadium in the Premier League. It's crap. I 100% agree with you, mate. It's crap, but it ain't going to change. It ain't going to change. I believe.
I don't have a problem with that objective. Why do you?
Because I haven't been.
I have a problem with how they achieved the objective for a start.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. Yeah,
that's well done, Gaz. That's where I'm at. And what I just said was it can't be the only objective. But I think, I'm agreeing with you that because the football club in the round, and that's the decision-making part of the football club, they think the only objective is to stay in the division. Yeah. Therefore, if you want to be really blunt about it, as I'm about to be, they don't give a shit how shit the football is, as long as the primary objective is achieved. That still means that come next season, whether it's this manager or not, and we all expect it to be not, then that won't be acceptable. But then what stops them saying, well, this is the first year in our new stadium, so the primary objective is to stay in the division. And before you know it, we're all bored out of our boxes. The stadium's half empty because of the CAC football, etc., etc., etc.
Sounds like the budget.
Well, yeah, it does.
And it's kids. My lad's 11. He still loves it, loves going the game. But how many kids are going to come and watch that and this?
But you're not thinking. But you're not thinking, though. Yeah, but you're not thinking, though, because the thing that's going to attract these kids to watch Everton is that new stadium.
Totally.
Because it's a novelty.
And it's the best one in.
It's a novelty,
everywhere.
And those kids will be able to say, I watch a football team in the best stadium in the country. Now, whether it's the best stadium in the country, and people will argue because it probably still will be Spurs. But that's the novelty that keeps us all going, isn't it? Because let's be honest, mate, if Everton weren't getting a new stadium next season, I think a lot of people would have jacked it in by now. just because there are a lot of fans who are on the edges of things who just think, I've got something better I could do. Now, whether people on the waiting list would have took their places, that's up.
I think you're right. When season ticket renewal came up, being there for the last season at Goodison was very important. And then when it comes up again, people will want to be in the first year at the Everton Stadium as well. You know, I spoke to somebody on the when I did the sleep out.
Yeah,
he was a season ticket holder, Lower Gladys, and he's getting married and all those sorts of things. So decisions have to be made about money and stuff.
Yeah.
And he said, John, I'm here now, you know, in Lower Gladys with my season ticket. I will renew for the new stadium. Second season, I'm off.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as much to do with the dire football, but that doesn't help.
It's life.
Now, clearly, he might change his mind if we win something or we're looking fabulous and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so there's loads of reasons why people are going to here now as season ticket holders and will go to the new stadium as season ticket holders, which have got nothing to do with the football. Right? It's to do with that emotional attachment and all that sort of stuff. And then life decisions have to be made, which is why the sensitivity of how expensive the tickets are going to be will come into play and all those sorts of things. And the only way to find out if the replacements on the 30-odd thousand on the waiting list are true replacements is when they get asked, hey, would you like this £1,000 seat? You know?
No, I agree. And I think, guys, I think in the first season, Everton are going to have big decisions to make, because I think, like John just said there, for a lot of people, the first season at the new stadium is going to be the novelty. But that second season could be
hard.
It could be hard. It could be hard. That's probably why they've sold the hospitality on a 3-year.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. And the emotion around determining the capacity of the stadium, and every man and his dog has a view, right? But the past chairperson told me that he argued long and hard and lost the battle about what the capacity should be, which he said included him saying, because he ran theatres and stuff, I can guarantee it'll be full for 2 years. But after that, it's got to be about how good the football is, right? And of course, the club will get itself some headroom, because everyone who's bought a premium seat is committed to paying for 3 years, which gives them some safety net. So,
go on, guys.
I'm not really talking about seats in the stadium, because we know we can fill them. We've got the waiting list. What I'm talking about is the kids who can't go to the games, the kids in school, the kids who are watching, who are growing up. Why would you choose to be an Evertonian at the minute?
But
you know what? Apart from the family, like my lad lives in Manchester, and he's a diehard Evertonian. But apart from family history, why would you choose to be?
But why would you choose, genuinely, right, why would you choose to be a fan of 16 teams in the Premier League if you had no attachment to them right now?
Picking a winning team's better.
Kids are growing up with like EA 24 and playing as Man City or Paris Saint-Germain or Barcelona or Real Madrid. The world's so small now that I saw a kid last week, like in the heart of Liverpool, walking around in an Arsenal kit. It's like that would never have happened with Saka on the back. He obviously likes Saka, and his mum's probably gone, because he plays on him. He's got more attachment to the team he plays with on EA 24 than a team he watches on TV that he doesn't, because actually he's got some control over that team, and he's got some. He probably sits there every day, and I'm sure your kids are the same. Sits there every day, and that's the emotional attachment that is pulled, and that's sadly the way we're living in right now.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I tried to play him the other night. He whooped me 7-0.
No, but you're right though, aren't you?
We'll get you a game with Ned if
I sat down, right? If I sat down when I bought last year's EA, right, 24, and I sat down and played on it, and I couldn't play as any other team but Everton, because that's my emotional attachment. And yet everyone I played against was either Man City, Paris Saint-Germain, because they had Mbappe,
Madrid,
Barcelona, or Arsenal, right? So because they're the teams that they've got all the best players that win, so that's where your attachment's going to be. So I don't know why anyone would support anyone else but Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool in the Premier League right now. If I had no attachment, I can't. When you look at like fans who come from abroad, it blows my mind. Where you're from middle of nowhere, in the middle of nowhere. How come you're an Everton fan? Oh, well, so this, so that, and you're like, are you mad? You could be on the gravy train every year loving this. It's not like NFL, you could just support Man City and have it great.
Those that understand, Pep.
But they choose, don't they? They get chosen, and you're right, it's crazy. But the thing Everton have been able to offer for years, guys, is the fact that kids could go to the stadium, whereas other clubs have struggled with that. But I'm with you, mate. I hate the football. Not particularly. I don't particularly like sort of the fact that this man's the manager of Everton Football Club. But I just don't think it's good. No one at Everton is sitting there, honestly, looking to sack him. They're honestly not. In fact, again, the man told me to my face, the worst thing in the world for Everton right now would to be sacking another manager.
I could not disagree with him more. I'd rather have anyone.
Problem is, he pulls the strings, so it's almost like, and it's horrible, and I don't want to but it's like you'd have to part make peace with that, and it's horrible. Doesn't mean every week I'm not gonna criticise certain things that happen. In fact, I'll double down on them because he is the manager and he isn't going to lose his job anytime soon. I'll double down on why you would take a centre forward off and not play 4-4-2 to then 10 minutes later be forced to do it and play a centre back up front. Do you know what I mean? That to me is mind boggling. That to me, that a guy who's lived off 4-4-2 for years doesn't think we should be playing 4-4-2 when needed and then be forced into it because your love child has to be taken off. Do you know what I mean?
1-0 down. 1-0 down at home to Fulham and he takes that centre forward off.
I know. It's mind-boggling. Yeah. It's absolutely mind-boggling. But to me, the fact that he has got a job and he's safe means I can hit him even harder with criticism. Because if he's safe, then he deserves everything he gets. Do you know what I mean? It's like the other way for me. It's like, you're not going anywhere. So actually, I will highlight everything I don't like. And I've seen loads of people in the comments say there, but we're not Burnley. Well, for the last season and for the rest of this season, we sort of are Burnley, aren't we? Sadly, and that's listen, and the other side of it, Gaz, is, and I'm not.
At least Burnley play 2 up front.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. But without being preachy, I see loads of people in the comments every day telling me how good he is and how much we should get down on our knees and thank him for what he did.
Oh. No way.
But know what's mad
Point
about
me
that?
in their direction, because
But you know what's mad about that, Gaz?
Tell them it's ridiculous.
But you know what's mad about that? That's a double-edged sword, right? And I'll tell you why. Because last season we earned 48 points, which makes us a mid-table team. So why are we talking about relegation?
Indeed.
Why aren't we talking about improve? This squad's better than last year's squad. We lost one player, and he didn't even like him.
He didn't even play him, even though, by the way, he gets so much stick. He was the best player in our team by an absolute mile. That's why he's the only one that anyone wanted to buy.
And he didn't know, he didn't know how to use him. But that's fine. But don't tell me that this team's worse than the one it was last year, because that's what he's living off, as far as I'm concerned. He's living off the fact that he's telling everyone that we're terrible and the stuff he's had to go through. Mate, you've been here for nearly 2 years. Pipe down. Nice one, guys.
Nice one. By the way,
go on.
Ned, you'll be missed, mate. I'll see you soon.
Nice one, guys. I don't worry, I'm replacing the manager.
James Graham says, nice one, guys. Says, there's going to be tears. There you go. Elizabeth said, hi, guys. Just wanted to wish all the best to Ned on his next chapter. I've really enjoyed his many and varied contributions to Toffee TV over the years, and also had the pleasure of meeting him at a couple of premiere evenings. I hope if there's ever another such gathering, there will be. We'll get that sorted. We may see and hear Ned once again. We will get that sorted. We'll have him there. We'll have Jack there. We'll have that sorted. Don't you worry.
Thanks, Liz.
When?
Yeah, hopefully see you again.
Do you know what? You and you booked him, and then Baz says he can't come because he's probably going to see some play at the Empire or something. We need to get our heads together and get it sorted.
Are you going to pick that up, are you, and drive forward with it?
Do one for New Year before I book my gigs in. Then
pardon? Sorry.
Are you going to pick up and drive that
No,
forward?
Because if I do it...
So then, you're making commitments.
No. Because if I say it, then Baz will tell me why he can't do it. So it's better that Baz does it. Better that Baz picks the day, and then we'll fall in line.
Have you failed to attend for more than him, or?
No, I've only failed to attend one, and I had COVID.
Oh, Typical excuse.
I had COVID and actually saved so many people's lives that night. Literally, I saved people's... Ned, you know I saved people's lives that night.
I hosted the night.
Yeah.
Which changed people's lives.
Exactly. So I saved people's lives, and you changed people's lives. So that's fair.
Are you going to get your guitar tuned? Yeah.
I probably won't play the next one. It's been done many times.
But people want you to play.
No, we want to mingle with his fans.
I want to enjoy the night.
Yeah, mingle with your fans.
Well, maybe we could get Ryan Rooney, who's going to be on the show on Friday at 1 o'clock.
Yes. Ooh, is he going to sing?
Well, I don't know. I'll ask him to just
bring his guitar.
I might bring mine.
Ned can bring. Well, Ned's going to be. Ned Oddley's here on Friday, but he finishes tomorrow. Is this because there might be a Nando's available?
I'm just coming in
absolutely for his Nando's,
to chill and then maybe to go for Nando's.
So he's not going to be working, but apparently he's going to be here on Friday. But
I want to get me.
This show's good when people ring in.
It is. It is.
Well,
good.
We've got another caller right
Go
now.
for it. Come on, don't keep.
Let me just
waiting.
do this. Let me just do this, right? Because someone just messaged me, but the comment's gone. But someone said, "How many more season tickets do you think will be released?" And also, if you are on the waiting list, have you had anything about what's happening? Have you had anything?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what's people on the waiting list had, and how many people do you think will be added?
I think about 5,000.
Okay.
No one's told me. That's what I think.
That was Matt. Matt said, "Hi lads, how many extra season tickets do you think?"
They got told. They'd get told. I'll find the email if I can, but by memory, because I've got one granddaughter who's season ticket.
Okay.
The other one who's on the list, and she's been told soon they'll get told where you are in the list. Yeah, that's the gist of it.
So you haven't been told yet where you are or anything, but you will be soon. No, the waiting list.
No,
obviously...
no, it is now. Earlier this year, in prep for, we continue to inform the new banding system, blah, blah, blah. By the end of December, all supporters on the waiting list will receive a communication from the club. This will confirm if you will become eligible to purchase a season ticket for the first campaign at our new stadium. If not, your up-to-date position within the banding system for future seasons. So if you're on the waiting list, you will know before the end of December whether you're going to get the tickets
I imagine...
or not, which I'm struggling with, as the rest of us ain't going to buy them until... But they'll know the number, won't they?
No, but I imagine what will happen is by the end of December, we'll all know when our buying stages are, and then the people who are on the wait list, how many they are, 5,000 maybe, they'll know when theirs are.
Absolutely.
And then you'll probably get to what, the end of April, and every ticket.
How many season tickets do you think there will be in the new stadium?
40.
Yeah.
40,000.
Yeah. How have you... Is that just
guessed it, because it's a round number.
Because I think that's roughly what it'll be.
Yeah.
And there's 32,000 now, is there?
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's 4,000 additional premium seats. If they're counted as the season ticket count, then that's 36. So that would bring it up to maybe 4,000 extra ones. So it depends how they count them.
Okay.
But and I think also, and maybe when we speak to the data scientists, when people are on a waiting list, it's quite a low percentage who actually
take them up.
Yeah,
because it's
so I suspect everyone who's on the waiting list who actually wants a ticket might very well get one, even if the overall total might not be as big as people might have hoped. You know, lots of people think of 40-odd thousand season ticket holders and stuff like that. I don't think necessarily that's the case. So
we'll see.
And we all need to know prices before then as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the prices, that's the major key thing, isn't it? You can't be...
So basically, what we're saying, boys and girls, is come the end of the year, around 40,000 individuals will know when they get to choose their seat.
Yeah. I wonder whether people on... Fletch, I'm going to come to you now. I wonder whether also those people on the waiting list will be asked beforehand whether they are going to buy one.
Oh, I see.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they get an email, it's like, you have to confirm right now whether you are going to buy a season ticket. Because surely that's another thing everyone needs to look at, is like, if I'm on the waiting list and I see the ticket prices, and the ticket prices are, say, £1,000, because by the time
you get your turn,
by the time you get to your turn, the tickets will be about £1,000. Can you commit to that? We need to know right now. And if you're not, then the next one comes up on the list. because Everton are going to, because these are all the things that we think it's dead easy, but actually you forget about all that stuff. There's so much, because you're right, because you might have signed up to the waiting list 5-10 years ago, whatever, and being like, yeah, I'm brilliant now. But like you just said about the guy, life changes. You could have been married, have a couple of kids, job might have changed, whatever, and
whole host of things. New job, work on weekends.
And the chronology there has to be, because that'll include the prices. And yet no one's actually going to be able to buy one till January. And therefore there's another life period that happens of a couple of months from when you said yes to when you have to hand your money over and something's changed, you've lost your job, you've moved away, whatever. So there will be, I'm assuming, it's quite likely, if not probable, that come January time, people on the waiting list might get phone calls and stuff saying another couple of seats have come available. Are you interested?
Barbara, one of our Premier members, says, I've had my season ticket for 7 years since I retired. I could afford the fares from London. I know there's no easy way of dealing with moving us, but I'm a bit worried that by the time they get to me, I might be in a seat high up with a lot of stairs. No, you know what? That's a really good point. My sister's a little bit worried about that because she went through cancer battle and the radiation is absolutely... She's like just shell of a person physically that she used to be. So she's worried about that. She's worried about the stairs because she hasn't got as many as us, we get ours. And then when she comes, so it's like they're all the things she's got to think about as well. By the time it comes to hers, if she can't get that seat near us, she might need to look somewhere else a little bit lower. So
that's interesting because I don't recall, other than the classic, just for shorthand, I'll call it wheelchair users. Don't think there was any accessibility questions in any of the surveys, was there? No. Because there's lots and lots of people, you can't just tell by their age that... No. You know...
As I said, she's a...
Issues that might stop them.
Yeah, I mean, people just generally, if you've had a knee operation or a hip operation, getting up those stairs might be a challenge. And none of us know.
Mate, it's a challenge every time we go away to Newcastle.
And you know what? I don't know.
Because they put us in the gods.
Maybe if Everton let... I don't know, us into the ground, we could do a lot of this recce work for people.
Could have a look. Yeah.
Oh, I'm reasonably fit. I won't say why. I could run up those stairs and check them out. Let's see, this is what Ned's... But let's get Fletch on anyway.
Could have the journey from the gates to your seat.
I'm not getting any sound from him, so I'm just checking his mic.
Could have a journey from the gates to your seat.
Could possibly do that. I mean, we could...
the highest seat in each stand, how would you get to it?
Yeah, because there's escalators. I'm sure there's lifts.
There's some, but I don't think there's as many as there have been in another stadia.
But I'm sure, I think to the top of the south stand,
we've seen them on some of the internal.
Well, we know there's an escalator to the south stand up here, but of course you still then have to climb up those stairs if you were up there. And that's what we were talking about before. Is like loads of people might want to sit in the north stand because they don't have those issues. Because actually, it's got two tiers. The most both reasonably the lower. Even though that annoys some people. But there are many reasons why people will...
But if you raise a good point, because if you use Newcastle away as an example, when you come into the level, and there's quite a long, a wide bit, when you come up the steps from the concourse area, you've got to climb all the way up to the seats themselves.
Right, go on, we got Fletch.
Season ticket.
Hi, boys, how's things?
All right, mate, go on, Fletch.
Well, good, mate.
Yeah, basically, I wanted to start with some of the managerial decisions what took place last weekend when it comes to starting Michael Keane over Jared Branthwaite. I think that was a bold call. I think in terms of the way we play, I think it would have been better to start Branthwaite than Michael Keane because he pushes the plays up. He's more solid in defence and he pushes us into more of an attacking mode.
No, I agree, mate. I agree.
And I'm slightly concerned as well because I've been listening to different fan bases, and a lot of teams fan bases have written Everton off this season. But I think it's too early to be talking about a relegation battle.
I think talking about a relegation battle before the season was too early, mate. To be honest, I think.
That's it. We're only a few games in, aren't we?
Yeah, but it's who's talking about the relegation
of the way through the season.
Battle, isn't it, mate? It's like
United fans, particularly, like they've tried to take a bit of the attention away from Everton because there was talk about Mourinho coming to Everton this time next season. But like, I just think a lot of the fan bases, a lot of the franchises have written Everton off, and it's like, well, why? Because we've still got a few players yet to come in. That Dozier as well. That he's still yet to come back from his injury, and we're still yet to prove ourselves in terms of our attacking mindset, our attacking ability going forward against the smaller clubs. And I think there's a lot of teams which are less. I've got less Premier League experience than Everton, and I think there's a lot of worse teams out there. And I don't think Everton are going to go down this year. Far from it.
Definitely not, mate.
No. Listen, the people. I mean, I wouldn't be bothered. But Man United fans are just sore because of the Branthwaite stuff in the summer. I wouldn't be.
Yeah, because
I don't even know why. If I was a Manchester United fan, why would he even bother talking about Everton? You know, you've got that.
That's what I was thinking. Well, they rate Everton. They say they like Everton. They're the second team. They respect the fans.
I wouldn't.
They respect the fans and they like the club, but they just think that they're on the way down. And it's like, well, why? Because we're going through a transition period at the moment. We're going through a transition phase at the moment where Everton are going into the new stadium. We've got new owners coming in, which means new investment. I don't know which for PSI we might struggle with that, but all round stability when it comes to the board appointments there. And I just think that Everton, we're on hold at the moment. We're not fighting off relegation as such. We're just bobbing along just above the relegation zone. And I don't think that we're going to be in for a relegation battle this time, in this season. I think when we get towards Christmas, I think that's when the table will start showing its true colours.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. I wouldn't. I think the only way you start talking about relegation, if you start talking about relegation, then it's a thing, isn't it? It's a thing.
I think that's
we've got 9 points from 9 games. It hasn't been.
Yeah, it's not been the best start,
it hasn't been sparkling. He's doing what he does. No. This is his style. He edges every game. He'll be made up with what happened on Saturday.
But what I like about Sean Dyche is he keeps the game alive in the games. We don't just bottle it and go, oh, we'll go see this out. He keeps going, does Sean Dyche, and that's what I respect him for.
Okay, fair enough, mate. That's
you know what? Enough. My view on that is he can't bottle it and say we'll see this out because he starts the game in a see this out mode. I mean, the setup, mate, is awful. The United fans, going back to them about why they're the way they are, is because, mate, they're only 2 points in front of us.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And if we'd beaten Fulham, we'd be level with them. They've got a very expensive, underperforming squad, which is why they sacked the manager. And
definitely.
And
the players just can't perform. They just lack any luster. They lack any confidence. And it's like, why are you pointing the finger at Everton when, realistically, mate, you're in the same boat as Everton? United are in exactly the same predicament as Everton Football Club, but they're just a bigger club. But they've not got a brand spanking new stadium on the horizon waiting for them. And they've got nothing to sing and dance about from that respect. And they've got nothing to look forward to. They've got nothing to aim for.
I think they've got plenty to aim for.
Did you think?
They're currently in all the competitions that they're eligible to be in. Yeah, I mean, they've got a game tonight, so let's see how they do in the League Cup.
Yeah,
the FA Cup's to come around, and whichever European competition they're in. Are they playing Athens next week or something? Yeah. But I mean, will they even have a new manager by then? You know, because
probably. Apparently, they've got a verbal agreement with somebody already, haven't they?
Yeah, the sporting manager.
Oh, what's his name? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But to be honest, I'd never heard of him.
He's a good manager.
No, listen. I wouldn't worry about Manchester United.
Yeah, it's about us, mate.
I wouldn't worry about Manchester United.
I was just focusing on Everton primarily. There seems to be a media narrative at the moment that Everton are a busted flush, that they're going down, that they're just gathering dust.
Which media is this?
I haven't. I'll be honest, mate. I haven't really seen that this season. Me and Ned were talking before, actually, about how quiet it is. We were sat here last year, all through last year,
every
day.
Yeah, every day.
There was a story. Yeah. Like me and Ned have had to cobble stories together for the news today, mate.
Is the quietness a good thing?
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
I think it's really, really quiet.
Yeah,
I think the
hopefully, mate, I just hope to God we get another world class manager at the end of the season. That's what
we're not going to get a world class manager. We're not getting Mourinho, and we're not getting a world class manager.
All right,
Mourinho is not a world class manager anymore.
We're not getting.
He's not world class, but he's one of he's up there with the best.
No, there's too much, mate. Too much.
Yeah, he's too much hassle. He's not a safe pair of hands.
The problem is, right,
the other week.
He likes around for 18 months.
To make it all about himself, doesn't he?
No, this is the problem. I don't mind. I think Mourinho's charming, but the problem is, right, this is what would happen if we got Mourinho. This is what would happen if we got Mourinho. He'd won a load of players who were 28, 29 and 30, and they'd want to come to us, and they'd all want 4-year contracts. And we just can't have that. And that's the problem, mate. That's the problem. So what we'll more likely look to do is go and get a Thomas Frank, Marco Silva style manager.
But they're not big game managers, though.
I don't want big. I'll be honest, mate.
Eddie Howe at Newcastle.
Everton Football Club.
They're not doing as good as what they could be doing.
I think Thomas Frank's an excellent manager, and I think he'd be an excellent Everton manager. He's what
I don't know. I don't think he's got the achievements just yet.
But what achievements do you want him to have? Because if he won anything...
a Champions League would be nice. The Premier League would be even nicer. An FA Cup.
Okay, tell me any manager that you've just those boxes
who would come here
that would come to Everton.
Well, Mancini's meant to be out of contract.
Don't touch him. Oh, don't touch him, mate. He is disruption.
I'm just name dropping now, but these are the type of managers that we should be aiming for, because with Everton Football Club, we deserve the best of the best.
I know, but they're not the best of the best. The best of the best. The best of the best are going to... The guy Man United are going for is he... What's he won?
He's not won anything, has he? He's only been in management 3 years.
So why are Man United, who are the biggest club in the world...
I don't know. You tell me, with Man United, because
he's a good
some of the board decisions,
because he's a good manager,
especially in sacking Fergie. It's just been completely ridiculous.
They didn't sack Fergie. They sacked Fergie as an ambassador. Come on.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, no, I get your point, and I like your point. But what I'm saying to you is, football now is moving away very, very. What did Arne Slot won before he comes to Liverpool?
That's true.
What sporting manager?
I still don't rate him. He's doing well in the league in terms of form, but he's still not proved himself yet. He's not won anything.
No, the sporting manager has won their league twice in the last 3 years.
It's Portugal, though.
Right. Okay. Well, you can say that, can't you? You can beat what's in front of you. So he's got a track record of doing it in Portugal. It's a 2-team league, not as bad as some others, but ultimately you want to be the manager of Benfica or Sporting, right? The 2 Lisbon teams.
Or Porto.
Yeah, but historically...
Mourinho.
Yeah. That was him in his pomp, wasn't it, right? But it's a good technical league, right? Not a lot of money about, as you can see when they get blown away regularly when they're in the European competitions, right? But he's a youngster, isn't he? What is he, 30-odd?
Look at
39, but that wouldn't get him in the top 50 youngest managers.
But look at Xavi
Alonso. I hope Duncan Ferguson comes back to Everton as well. That would be great.
No, it's all right. What about Xavi Alonso? Because he'll be like the next Real Madrid manager. Probably.
Well, hey, tell you what, wouldn't that be an absolute masterstroke if we end up getting Carlo Ancelotti back as Everton manager? Wouldn't that be a dream come true? That would be absolutely brilliant. Obviously, that's just a pipe dream. I'm not saying that's going to happen because he's most likely going to go to Brazil, isn't he?
Listen,
go and get
Imagine getting Carlo back. Imagine if Real Madrid sacked him and it was just like, right, well, I'm going back to Everton. Excuse my language.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure United could afford the amount of money that you'd have to spend to have Xavi.
I think it's not necessarily, mate. I love the ambition. It's not necessarily the fact that these managers.
I think that's what our fans need more than anything.
Carlo,
we need to drive the media narrative in our favour in order to get these managers that we want.
But he wanted like players like James Rodriguez, who we all loved, thought were amazing. But Everton couldn't afford to pay someone like him £200,000 a week. Now people will go, but there was no transfer fee, and Everton didn't know how to exploit
him.
Exploit this guy. I mean, he didn't even the number 10 shirt, which was like his trademark. Stupid things like that. For me, and listen, it's great to have massive ambitions, and I used to always want these kind of managers. I think our next manager has to be somebody you go, he could take us forward for the next 5 years, make this team good, get us to a level where we're like trying to get into Europe. And you know what? If that means going back to someone like Marco Silva or going to Thomas Frank...
Well, Sam Edwards wants Ruud van Nistelrooy.
As you said down the Super Chat.
Yeah.
Thanks for the Super Chat. So, there's loads of good managers, like there are loads of good players. They don't always leap off the page to you straight away. And you know what? The Man United, Fletch, are about to appoint something that I think
completely
75% of normal football fans didn't know anything about till last summer when Liverpool were after them.
I don't think they made the right call myself, personally.
Okay. Well, who do you think should be the Man United manager?
Well, to be honest, I don't mean to sound like a stuck record, but I think somebody like Carlo maybe at United, or somebody.
Yeah, that would be good. That'd have been good. All right. Listen, Fletch, we've got a couple more callers. A nice one, mate.
All right, no worries. Just a quick one about DCL before I go. I hope he starts scoring and I hope he stays with us into the new stadium. And good luck with your new job.
Okay, mate.
Thanks, man.
There you go. John.
All right, cheers. Thanks, fellas.
Cheers, Fletch.
Second back out.
Cheers, Fletch. Damn, mate.
Fletch should put in for the job here.
Or he should put in for fastest talker in the West. Because the kid needs to take a breath. But fair, thank you, Fletch, for giving us a call.
Second back out now. And
put them back in now, John. Yeah, let me have a look at some more of your comments. Please do give us a call, because it's great. It's
much better when people...
The one's going to set John up first, and then we'll get...
It's what makes these shows good.
Mm. Can you hear this?
No. I can hear Ped.
Yeah, right, okay. Oh, good.
Listen, Fletch is great. He comes on and he gives his opinion, and his opinion is last week he wanted Mourinho and this week he wants Carlo. So fair play to fair play. I've got no... Listen.
I actually think Carlo at Man United is a good shout.
I wanted Carlo about when I think we got Silva, so...
Glenn, come back, mate.
And a lot of people then told me it was nonsense, so listen. There's a lot of good. I really like Thomas Frank. I really like. I think he'd be a great Everton manager. I think he's just got that. You just listen to him, and he's so quiet, but when he talks, I think people listen. And he's so calm as well.
But he's a conductor.
Yeah. But obviously he needs people behind him as well who are keeping everything calm. It's not just him running the shop. I think he's someone who needs the director of football doing their job and everything as well properly, and people behind them running the shop. So we'll see where Everton go for, but listen, no one's getting sacked. No one's getting sacked at the moment.
Would introduce a level of risk which is not currently necessary.
Exactly, yeah. Elizabeth says, I'm number 5,007 or thereabouts on the list. Very much hoping that it will be 5,007 plus a few at least. Yeah, 5,007. But Elizabeth, what might happen is...
I think she'll be all right.
I think you'll be all right there, because I think definitely 7 people will just go... Nah.
If it's me or Elizabeth, she should have...
Ned, what are you on the waiting list?
Don't know.
You don't know? Well, how does Elizabeth know and you don't know?
Because they tell people... You can tell on your site.
All right, let me ask you a question, Ned. If Everton Football Club come to you in January and say...
No, can't. Not now, no.
So you're on the waiting list?
Career comes first. So
Career comes first.
You don't work weekends in your new job?
I do.
Oh.
Which means also... my team will have to be without me some weeks.
Oh, what a terrible situation for your team to be in.
No left
Things
back.
are not bad. Things are bad enough for your team.
How are they coping with that bombshell, Ned?
I haven't told them yet.
Oh, well, they know now.
P-Cats just said, any idea about direct debits for season tickets? Was talking to someone yesterday, and they said they heard they were not offering the facility, and we would have to find our own loan or direct debit companies. I think if Everton were to remove the direct debit facility, they would be massively stupid.
I can't imagine why they would do that.
Because we're the ones who pay the fees.
Yeah.
So all Everton have done is open the door, surely.
And get a bit of a kickback, probably.
Yeah. To a company and gone, will you facilitate this? They've gone, yes. It's win-win, because if you don't pay, they can stop you going the match.
Yeah.
Like that. They probably pay Everton
for the privilege. Yep.
Because of the interest they're making off us all.
And the admin fees are all paid by the punter.
And we pay the... So I think for Everton, it's a win-win. And for the interest, for the finance company, it's win-win. So if they were to take it away...
Say, go and sort your own out.
It would be very, very hard for some people, because I know I pay direct debits and the facility is fantastic. It does take that stress off at that once a year stress. And of course, yes, you can go and get a credit card, 0 interest, but that's a headache. And not all of us qualify.
It's just ease.
Yeah. So it'd be nice if that was clarified, but I suppose if they haven't clarified it, it's probably because they're not taking it away.
Yeah. Right. But they haven't mentioned anything about money yet anyway. No. So.
We've got Glenn, because I can see him.
Ah, there's Glenn.
But he's not going to go on the big screen.
I'm just waiting until he can hear us.
Glenn, we can see you. Come and speak then.
Can you hear us now?
Come on, Glenn can hear us and we can talk. Go on, Glenn.
I think Fletcher deafened me. But, Edward Hartyman, how are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. How are you? Did Fletch steal some of your thunder then?
I mean, maybe he was the thunder, but I'm the lightning, so it's fine.
Oh, there you go then. Go on.
But the lightning comes before the thunder.
Oh, not in the storms you experience in Florida, John, I bet. But before I start, Neddy, the little man with the very expensive car, how are you?
I'm not little, I'm just a man.
Oh, okay. Well, compared to Ped, just standing next to him, perspective.
How tall are you, Glenn?
If I really stretch my back, 5'8", but 5'7".
Same
You're
as
just
me.
a little bit bigger than Ned then. Yeah.
No, I'm 5'8". I'm 5'8".
Yeah, in bloody
I'm 5'8".
Elton John shoes from the 70s.
Yeah, the Cuban heels really help Ned on stage.
Back to football.
Go on, Glenn.
Anyway, okay, right. John smashes analyst expectations, Blaine, right? So it's earnings season, revenue to profit, profit to free cash flow to cash to the business. How soon can the Friedkins get lots of cash into Everton? And when can we start spending?
I don't think there's an intent to put lots of cash into the business and start spending. There will be a mandatory requirement, I think, for us to spend money next summer because of the number of players that are going to be out of contract, if nothing else. But I don't expect any madness in January because, in my own view, that's what it would be. It would be madness. But I think, and I've said on the channel before, I think it's going to be a very entertaining summer transfer window for our football club. So let's wait and see.
So just to hold you to that then, John Fontaine, business fantastico Blaine, you don't think we're going to have a big January transfer? Does that mean no players in, you think, in January? Or do you think...
I think they'll strengthen the squad in January, but you're not going to get the, new owners, let's have a marquee signing. I don't think that. And I don't think it would be prudent to do that if for no other bloody reason this manager's going at the end of the year and the end of the season, or he should. And you'd rather like the new manager to know what he's got to play with, which is why we perhaps end up with a very rare occasion. We'll have a very shallow on numbers squad, a brand new manager, probably, a brand new stadium, certainly, and brand new owners with a desire to make a bit of an impression. So we could be in that lovely spot where we do get rather a lot of better players because we don't have to pay the ones we don't want to go away. And I think the only danger for me would be that if you've got incumbent director of football who seems to be quite close to the manager, and we don't know what his true feelings are because he has to play the game, but I'm sure he, with his background, is more attuned to young, technically good players than he is to as Ped said to somebody else, with a Mourinho type thing, late 20s, been there, done that, but want long contracts types. So it could be quite interesting to see how we do it, mate, because you do have to sprinkle youth with experience anyway. But I think hopefully we'll start with a view that technical ability and pace are high criteria, not Premier League experience. What about you, Ped? What do you think?
Yeah.
That was enough from Ped. Thank you.
Ped the artisan. There you go.
I'm just sorry. I was looking at some of the comments.
He can't multitask, mate. If he reads comments, he zones out.
I was just looking at some of the comments. No, I think no, because they've got to get number one. If they're going to do anything, the first thing they should do is clarify what the director of football's contract is.
Well, he's out of contract, of course.
So they've got to clarify that.
So announce that's been extended.
And then once you've got that and a CEO in place, then you've got your sort of like your two pillars, haven't you? And then January will be more about sort of
filling the gaps
for the squad. But of course, they will be players that will be seen as maybe taking the place of other players who might leave on free contracts,
or maybe go in January. Some of them, yeah.
So of course, we've got to. there is a lot to do. Very quickly.
But
Lot to do.
it's a clean piece of paper, Baz.
No.
They have a great They have a great. You should be so lucky. They'll have great potential without some of the restrictions that have been there in the past.
No, they have. They've got an opportunity, but it's both got a great opportunity, but you also have to fill those places.
Oh, you do.
So that means that really you want the word being the word should be that Kevin Fowler really should know right now that he's going to be Everton's
absolutely,
football director for the foreseeable future. Therefore, his role right now is to get his players for January and for the summer. He thought last summer that he was buying players for the Friedkins. The rug was pulled from under his feet, so therefore deals that he wanted to be on. Does he resurrect those players? Well, maybe some of them. Not all of them, because some of those players he wanted to buy have gone to other clubs.
But he'll resurrect the types of players.
Yeah, but he'll know. It's very clear he has a draw of players that that if they don't sign in one thing, he'll go back for Jai, and Juma. There's already proof of them.
Yeah, we've got.
So he will have players out there already that he's spoke to and is told, and it seems that those players respond to that because they've come back to Everton. So hopefully there are players who fill some of the gaps, and then there'll be other players in the summer, and then he'll be buying players for whoever, and then that's when he becomes a real director of football and not a director of football who's a slave to the manager is. And that's because that's what we've just been talking about Thomas Frank. Brentford probably don't wait for Thomas Frank to say, I'll have him. Brighton certainly don't wait for anybody to tell, for the manager, because they sacked the last manager because he wanted who he wanted. So it is maybe time the director of football got the power to do what he wants. And I think now is the time because he knows he's staying, and I think the fella in the dugout knows he ain't staying. So there's a big opportunity, as you said, to move forward with the club now.
Sorry, that's my son.
No, it's not your son. It's not your son. That's the director of football in your house.
Oh, sound's gone.
You've lost. Go on.
No, he wants one of the yellow T-shirts that you still haven't got him yet. That's what he's come over and asking for.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, hold on a second. Sorry, that just interrupted me while I was
it's all right.
About asking questions. So he's happy now. I wanted to ask John quickly about stretch targets.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Because I asked you at the beginning of the season about what a stretch target should be, and oh my goodness, So sorry if you can hear that in the background, but what is your expectation now for the rest of the season versus where it was at the beginning of the season?
On a point-haul basis, I still think the managers should be targeting, or the team, the squad, call it what you will, but targeting that very modest stretch target which I gave them of last year's outcome, multiplied by 1.1, so 53 points. And I think he can still deliver 53 points, and I think he should keep having his feet held to the fire till he delivers them. I don't see any reason why in this division we can't improve ever so slightly on what we did last year, which was in much more trying circumstances. And if anything, with a little bit of creativity that Ndai brings, you could argue that the squad's ever so slightly better than it was last season, because the manager didn't rate or didn't like or whatever Onana and didn't play him in his best position anyway. So still 53 points, mate. I don't think there's any reason to come off that unless you think a little bit of a wobbly month at the beginning justifies it.
No, I mean, my biggest issue is that we're set up to finish 17th at the moment. That's how we go out and play.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's. Ped was talking about it before with a call. I don't know if you were on then, and he was saying, we've effectively concluded the culture is the only thing that's important is still being in the Premier League next season, and everything else not just becomes secondary, but doesn't matter. Classic means justify the end. So if that's going to be the case and it's going to be dour and miserable and boring and horrible, maybe we just have to hope that we have some good results and actually the safety bit comes soon enough for us to see something a bit more, a bit brighter and a bit more entertaining for the last 2 or 3 games at Goodison Park. Because I think if we go out with a miserable shit bag behavioural performance on the last day, that will be something that will live with most of us for the rest of our days. So,
and the other side of that is we were told last season at the end that one of the big contributing factors to the poor form in the second half of the season was the effect of having the 10-point deduction.
Indeed.
We were told that that was a huge stress on the squad and at the club, and no one knew how that affected. Well, we're not going to have that this season, so that's another reason why it shouldn't happen. I tell you what, Glenn, you have got a busy house going on there.
I know. I was umming and ahhing about calling, but yeah, there you go.
No, thanks for the call, mate.
Very, very entertaining. Yeah.
No worries. I'm going to have to go. See you soon.
Nice one, mate.
Take care, Glenn. See you next time, mate.
What a busy house. He's got doorbells going off. He's got
moving from room to room.
Kids. He's moving. We're watching
before they're going on holiday.
I know. We're watching. He's walking around the house just trying to get away from his kids. and then the doorbell goes. And then the doorbell goes. No, but that is a big factor, isn't it? That is a big factor that the manager told us. So in many ways, there are no excuses this season for the manager.
No.
And that's why we will continue to hold them to account for the performances, because he's a manager who ain't going anywhere. So therefore, it's not about going, oh, you've done this or you've done that. But he's the manager of Everton Football Club. He needs to stop going back to these excuses of, you don't know how bad it's been. I was told it was bad, but it was not anywhere near as bad as what I found it. You're a manager, mate. That's your job. I'm sure, John, you've gone into loads of businesses and you were told one thing when you've got there. You can't make excuses once it's your job. It's your job to fix them.
Can't.
Because ultimately you will pay the price for not fixing them.
The manager has only one objective in life, right? Any manager, which is to extract the best he can from the resources available to him. Not bitch and whinge he hasn't got good enough resources, which he can do, but that's not an excuse for not getting the best out of the resources you do have. These resources, as you've just said, went through a really difficult season last season and popped out the other end with 48 points. So they should be able to get more points this season. And
he was applauded for it, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Without all those, and it was all to do with distractions, 10 points, changes of ownerships that do or don't happen, blah, blah, blah. Really difficult. You don't know how bad it can be, Ped. You just don't know how bad it can be.
I don't know.
But guess what? Lots of that badness has gone away.
Yeah.
So deliver more points then. If he's going to do from this point the 53 points, which was a modest stretch target, as Glenn was talking about it, then he's got to do 1.5 points a game. So you can start the weekend by getting 3 points from one game. Yeah. And then the next game away as well. Get something out of that. And you're on your way. 7 games undefeated. International break. Chill out, lads. A bit closer to some of the injured players being available for you. And we're thinking, what's the problem? Yeah, what you've said is we're not in a relegation battle at all.
Yeah.
But if you talk yourself into it, you can definitely talk yourself into it. And I think this manager's confident he can always deliver his 1.3, right? Because he has done for 10 years plus, whatever it is, 15 years or something.
Gary Ward says, so long, Ned. It's been an absolute blast watching you on Toffee TV, and I wish you nothing but the best in your new endeavours. Try and drop back in from time to time. Like poetry, that.
Yeah.
Like you'd have inside a greetings card.
Yeah. Put a tune to it and it's a song.
Yeah. But Ned wouldn't write it. Nathan
says, Gary couldn't be bothered ringing in though. So
why?
Paddy, what?
Why?
Why what?
Why, Delilah?
Nathan says Thomas Frank Tactics interview on YouTube is brilliant. That would be the one with James Alcott, one of our old friends. So yeah, apparently it's on YouTube. It's on Sky or Premier League.
Sean Dyche's interviews on YouTube were brilliant as well.
Benji says, good luck on your next chapter, Ned. You will be missed.
Ned's really happy now. He's grinning, feeling
Steve P says, this is like, you should cherish this. Ned, this from Steve P. Whenever Cold Desert plays, a single tear will fall from my eye as I think of you. The streets will never forget.
Thanks, Steve.
I think people are just getting a little bit mad now.
Cold Desert is very sad. So
I reckon there'll be people ringing up a certain bank hoping you just pick up the phone, and when you don't, they'll put the phone down and go, no, I want it.
At least he went to a blue bank.
Well,
there are banks out there which use the wrong colours.
No.
Other banks are available.
Other banks are available. Other banks who don't get protested are available. Ian Murphy's one of our YouTube members said, I think Thelwell stays if Dyche was sacked. Be interesting to see what he'd do without Dyche saying don't want about players. Saying don't want about players. Or what?
Dyche he thinks Dyche puts blocks on, players. And therefore,
no, I think Thelwell will stay.
I think the hierarchy needs to establish properly that ultimately the manager works for the director of football.
Yeah,
and then it's just about being assertive. Then, and Kevin might not be that sort of animal, but you don't go through the Red Bull organisation being a shrinking violet, do you? So.
And I think Kevin Thelwell is a proper director of football, though. Like, he's a proper nerd. Like, his job is to find players.
There's two types, isn't there?
Go on.
There's the development type, and there's the player trading type.
Yeah.
And he's the former, but he's been asked to do the latter recently.
Yeah.
So we can get him into what he's best at, and he's done the background stuff around tidying up Finch Farm and getting the structures sorted out, all the administrative side of it. Clearly, it takes time for our own homegrown stuff to come through, but you can save time by knowing who those young players are who fit your profile and are prepared, which they should be, to come and play in the Premier League in a brand spanking new stadium on the blanks of the Royal Blue Mersey.
And also, I think
he's getting help to persuade people.
And I think in the last, also what we saw over the summer as well, he's tried to fill the gaps in the academy as well by bringing in young talent.
Hungry.
Now, we've brought in, we did this when Mashiri first came in, and we did it wrong because we went and bought players who were actually were playing first team football in like the championship, and we went
dump them in half.
And we went, do you want to play in our under-21s?
No.
Whereas actually what we've done this time is gone a little step further and got your Braden Grahams in, the kid from Scotland. What's the name of the kid from Wimbledon that we brought in? He's got
Justin Clark.
Justin Clark got 4 in 3 games.
Yeah.
And we've tried to go a little bit step further back to get them in a little bit younger, get them bedded into the football club. Maybe they'll need a loan soon, but there's a lot of talent in there, and we brought the young lad in from Arsenal as well, who's been scoring. Amari Benjamin scored against Liverpool at the weekend, scored a couple of goals. So he's tried to fill the space in there.
You've got to
as
give
well.
those guys pathways.
No, I know, and I think that's why. That's what I'm saying. That's what you just said there. It's like they've probably looked at the squad as well as gone, these will have pathways because Dom's leaving and then we've got a few more young guys, but there's an opportunity to get these guys in different places or make some money from them. And he is very much he's very much about creating.
He's a development director of football, and he's got to be allowed to do that.
Yeah.
With an infusion of experience just to buy your time whilst that's going on.
Yeah. So I think he'll stay. Tommy Cases, who's also a YouTube member, I will miss Ned. Just a simple I will miss Ned. That's,
I think we need to know why.
It's all right, they're replacing me with Thogden.
With what?
Thogden.
Number one, he's a YouTuber, and he's a YouTuber that has more money than all of us. So we aren't replacing him with Thogden. Thogden was at the El Clasico on Saturday, sat in the front of the Real Madrid end, and when Barcelona players were celebrating in front of them, was telling Real Madrid fans to calm down. This is a lad from Bolton telling Real Madrid fans to imagine going in the Gladys Street. And Liverpool fans were celebrating and telling people...
And their players are in front of the stand
and said Rodri shouldn't have won the Ballon d'Or because Vinicius Jr. had mates in Paris.
And bought a suit.
And a load of Rolexes.
And this lad, people give this lad loads of money. And his football knowledge is just...
quite low.
Very, very low. But he's doing a great job for what he wants to do. So who am I to argue with that? Big Fodder says, I will miss Ned and his conspiracy theories.
They're not so much conspiracy theories, they're more facts.
There you go. They are more facts. They are more facts. Right, I'm going to give somebody 4 minutes to get in touch with us. If that, then we're going. So
why 4 minutes?
Because I want to hear Dick L on my last club call.
You want to hear what?
I want to hear Dick L on my last club.
Dick L's not calling.
Or Dick L's wife.
Dick L's not calling.
There's quite a few regulars who've not turned up.
Dick Hell's not a regular caller. I don't think he's ever called. We don't know what Dick Hell sounds like.
Really a regular commentator.
He messages.
He messages on a Tuesday and a Tuesday only because that's when his wife will let him watch.
Oh, right. He keeps his phone in a box outside of that.
Unless I'm on, she'll be like, oh, stick him on.
Dave says, appreciate this isn't exciting to most football fans, but I'm excited by the prospect of the former Roma CEO coming in. I think it's vital the club gets the role right and his CV is impressive.
He's right. Yeah.
We had someone last week telling us that she hadn't done anything.
Well, we did go through. You went through a CV.
Yeah.
And you said, which bits of all this stuff didn't you do?
And then Ken from Mumbai says, who sort of just shorthands the whole thing, saying, the lass from Roma sounds class. Which I think is just shorthand to what Dave just said.
Yeah, it's good though, isn't it?
Or me reading out here.
It's got some sparkle. Yeah.
Listen, they're fair enough. That's another way of just saying as it is. But you know, Mike Hughes says, and I imagine it's not the one from Radio Maze.
That was my first thought.
Yeah, Thomas Frank all day long. And then Daniel says, same here, but we won't though. Ken's from Mumbai says, what is Ned leaving to do? Well, all I can say is he'll be dressed in black and will have a box of chocolates under one of his arm. And if you're a certain age, you'll know exactly what he's doing. The funny thing is, Ned's not that certain age and doesn't know what that means.
I do.
Go on, what does it mean?
Well, I don't think you know what it means.
Go on, what does it mean?
Yes, he does.
What does it mean?
Come on, Ned.
Go on.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump, yeah. That's exactly what I meant.
An Undertaker.
Why would an Undertaker have a box of chocolates under his arm?
He might get hungry.
I mean, I can't argue with that logic. Do you think anyone... See, you do strike me as that person. You strike me as a person that walk in a shop who's hungry and would buy a box of chocolates to just eat for your dinner.
Why else wouldn't...
You strike me as that... The first pay packet you ever got,
why else
you probably walked
buy
into a shop and went, do you know what? I can afford that big bag of Haribo now. I'm buying it for me dinner.
I have when they put the eggs out for Easter. Get a few eggs, have them when I'm hungry.
Okay.
Why?
So we were talking about the milk tray, man.
Yeah.
But
all because the lady loves milk tray.
But you wouldn't know that either.
Yeah.
So my 80s John got a new show for you, but you can't watch it when there's any kids about.
Okay.
Rivals.
Oh, I've seen the trailers for it. It looks hilarious.
Tremendous.
It's in second series, isn't it?
No, it's the first.
It's only the first series.
It's the second book, though, I was told.
Oh, okay.
But it's.
I saw the trailer, which was when they're playing tennis and stuff like that.
And she's in the net.
And Tennant plays the mischievous so-and-so, doesn't he?
There's a lot of mischievous people in it. It's really
political. Yeah.
It's not really political.
Oh, the bit he did was.
It's very 80. It's like Carry On being rich, essentially.
It's
about 80s.
But it's a laugh out loud one.
It's very funny.
It's laugh out loud.
Funny.
Yeah.
But you can't watch it around kids. In fact, don't watch it around anyone that you'd get embarrassed to be around watching certain stuff. Because the first scene is basically a fella on Concord with his missus in a toilet.
With somebody else's missus.
Maybe it might be
somebody else's missus.
That's literally the first scene in it. It's tremendous. Very, very funny.
And then he goes off and does someone else. And then the one who was in the Mile High Club thing gets the ump.
That's because you watched it on Gogglebox.
Yeah,
that's why you watched it on Gogglebox.
What do you think of Jordan and Tony Bellew?
Yeah.
Were good, were they?
No, they weren't good. I
mean, the swear count went up, but it's like they got told 5 minutes before. You know, we're just putting this sofa in Finch Farm.
Isn't it
doesn't matter how there's boobs on Disney.
Disney boobs.
Disney boobs.
Some of those cartoon characters are very pneumatic, you know. That's longer than 4 minutes, by the way.
Yeah. No, I know. We're finishing in a moment.
Come on, somebody else wants final say on.
I'm just going to look at some of the comments.
Ned's final say, yeah?
Yeah, I think someone should ring up just to speak to Ned.
To say see you to Ned.
Like, represent the whole of the fan base to say see you. Now, he's going to, for our Toffee TV Premier members, he's going to be on AOB tomorrow, which will just be us sitting around the couch chatting about Ned and his best bits. We won't have his best bits because the person who would have had to have gone through to find the best bits is Ned, and he certainly wasn't going to do that. But we'll just have him on.
Off myself.
The Colosseum will come up, won't it?
The Colosseum.
Yeah.
And
we've done that before.
The lack of the Colosseum.
Yeah, the lack of the Colosseum.
Get rid of it. done.
Glenn Watson says, sorry, I had to drop. It's fine, we know that. But he says, good luck with the dream pond, Ned. But that's his dad's ambition. His dad's ambition is to have a dream pond, not Ned. I believe.
I wouldn't mind having my own pond, but I need a house first.
Is that the first thing you're going to try and do?
No.
How long have you got to be there before they'll give you some money
after
for
I get
a mortgage and stuff?
After I get a house and stuff and settle down, get a bit of disposable income, build a little pond, put some fish in it.
Are you going to get out of St. Helens when you buy a house?
I don't know, yeah. Hopefully, yeah. I don't want to stay in St. Helens all my life. Oh, I'd love to live abroad one year.
Just
for a year?
No, like some...
But you know, that's like a commitment that you have to stick to, because it's not like you're not 19, you're not backpacking. You're going to, like, what people would think is a serious job.
Maybe when I retire.
You've a long while before that.
Well, that's a while, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to plan it right
Do
now.
me a favour, do not buy a house in St. Helens.
So you got
please.
2 years, mate, before income tax goes up for you. So make hay and all that, yeah.
Don't buy a house in St. Helens.
That's why I want to get properties. Yeah, I'd rather not.
Get an apartment in Liverpool.
Don't then.
I don't think I'd get one in Liverpool either, to be honest. It's a hard place to live if you're a wool.
It's not, though. It's
if
not.
I could afford it, I'd go Stockton Heath.
Would you, though? Really?
Sankey, maybe.
Sankey.
They're similar then.
Great Sankey or just Sankey?
Great Sankey.
Yeah. Why, though?
It's all right. Just
because it's close to St.
Just a
Helens.
decent area and it's not far away from Liverpool or Manchester. I want to kind of stay in between.
But you're talking.
I don't want to go into
I'm
Wigan.
not being funny.
Maybe Ashton.
You're talking like a 35-year-old man who wants to assess where the good schools are.
I can't live in Liverpool.
You need a bachelor pad, mate.
I'm not meant to be. I'm not meant to be here. I don't belong.
But you know,
I just feel like a stranger visiting. Like I'll never fit in.
But you will if you lived here.
You would if you lived here, yeah.
Just doesn't feel right.
There are parts of Liverpool that have a lot of people who aren't from here, like students and people from abroad and stuff. It's a multicultural international city.
Yeah.
So someone from St. Helens,
I'm sure someone from like Jamaica will be much more welcome than someone from St. Helens, though.
You don't have to say you're from St. Helens, though.
Tell them you're from Jamaica. Yeah.
Say you're from Whiston.
Yeah.
You'll get away with it. Or
I was
Prescott.
born in Whiston, so
Prescott.
There you go.
Prescott would be good.
Ken says, good luck for the future, Ned. Watch out for the seagulls and remember, scream if you want to go louder.
Thanks, Ken.
Good one.
Dave says he's laughing his bollocks off at the thought of an undertaker delivering some milk tray.
No, right. I've got some bad news, but I've got.
I was watching Mr. McMahon last night, so the Undertaker's on that.
Yeah, he's
I'm gonna take your soul right after this milk tray.
After I've eaten this milk tray, just after I've eaten this toffee, chocolate toffee. There you go.
This one's hard to get through.
So what are you predicting for the house then? How long?
Hopefully the next 18 months I'll be like properly viewing houses. I want to get settled in my new job first.
To get settled in your new job?
Will you still be in your new job?
At least finish my probation period.
How long's that?
3 months, I think.
Benji says, Ned, I live in Great Sankey, and I can tell you, mate, Sankey isn't ready for you. What's the pub on the corner? There's a pub on the corner. Is it something the pond, isn't it?
Trigger Pond.
Trigger Pond.
Yeah.
See? I mean,
it's a Green King, I think.
Yeah.
Trigger Pond.
Swear you used to.
That could be your pond.
There's loads of houses there now.
Yeah, there's loads of builds that were new builds about 20 years ago, so they've got a bit of insulation. They're still,
but the ones there are less than 5 to 10 years old.
Yeah,
now. And they're built on the old United Utilities.
And if it doesn't work out, you can go and work on Amazon. Or IKEA.
Loads of big logistics places.
Yeah. Fancy some meatballs right down the road.
Meatballs.
Yeah. There you go.
Right near the 62, so I can jump on the 62 and go to Liverpool.
Roy says for 80k in France, you'd get a very nice property.
It would be in the middle of nowhere, though.
Bit of a commute.
Be a fixer-upper, wouldn't it? Like those fellas on.
I can go watch Saints when they play Catalan
But
away.
you don't watch Saints now.
Yeah, but if I'm in France and Saints are there, I may as well go watch them.
Steph, Soph says, good luck, Ned. All the best. Never forget, scream. You want to go.
Is that really the?
Harder.
You're gonna. That's your. That's
is that
your,
what I'll be remembered for?
I hope someone. I hope someone in your new job on day one
says it.
Just says something like, "We'll never let you forget." Like it's the most boring person, and every day they come up to you and go, hey Ned, scream if you want to go louder. Like every day. And you're like, why did I
Probably
do
on
this?
me noticing.
Yeah. There you go.
Wonder what... I've said a lot of intellectual things, and people can only remember there's something I said wrong.
Because you say so many intellectual things that they all blur into...
I've literally given Italy the best advice on how to financialise their country, and they're just not taking my advice.
So you genuinely believe knocking down
the Colosseum,
and the things that make Rome Rome,
and build a new stadium for Rome.
Yeah.
But let's make a new Rome.
But people want the old Rome.
Nah.
I don't know if you've noticed, people quite like history.
Yeah, but it's only... you only like it when you're the victors. You know, nobody's going back to, you know...
But you do
certain
understand...
countries.
Hang on.
Nobody's going, let's be the old Germany. Oh,
you do
God,
understand that Rome did fall, don't you?
It's half falling to bits now at the moment, to be honest.
Wasn't built in a day either.
Yeah. You do understand.
They're not finished building it. Get rid of it.
So should you get rid of, like, Buckingham Palace?
It's like me buying a house and there's this half broken down tree house. I'm going, oh, what's that doing there? Oh, you know, it's got a lot of memories. So
but what if...
No,
hang on. What if people every day came to your house and paid to go in the green into the treehouse?
No, come on, I want a pond. Get rid of it.
But them coming would make you afford to pay for the pond separately.
No, sorry.
What else would you knock down?
Probably
pyramids,
Eiffel Tower,
Tower of London.
Maybe, because the Eiffel Tower's, like, nobody can go up the top of it anyway because it's unsafe.
I mean, they can.
Make it a bit smaller.
And they do every single day.
You're not allowed to
literally,
jump
I mean,
off
I know because I've been up there every single day.
I'd maybe just do a little bit more with it.
But in what way? What would you do more with?
Bit of bungee jumping.
Bungee jumping. Fair play, yeah. Fair play.
Maybe a zip line.
Wouldn't you be slightly worried that because it goes out at the bottom, that if you jump from the top, you might bang your head on something?
Yeah. Wear a helmet. Be all right.
I don't think helmets
help.
Well, then if people decide to pay, then it's their responsibility if they do bang their head or not. I'm not saying throw anybody off and they go, oh, no, I don't want to go bang my head.
Right. If you're a Premier member, you'll get more than Ned.
You'll get more of this.
Ned will, at the moment, he said he's going to come back for the Christmas special. Let's see where he is in two months. I don't know. But he'll definitely be here tomorrow. So, no problems there. Hen says, Ped, do you like Paris? As much as I like running. There you go.
No.
Let's say nothing. I love Paris. And I'm going again next month.
Are you?
1st of December, I'll be in Paris.
Paris.
Straight after the Man United game. The next day, I'll be in Disneyland.
So there.
Should they knock Disneyland down as well?
Don't know how many of them they need.
They need loads. They need more. They need more. There's not enough of them.
There's only one Disney World, though.
There is. But there should be more. Right, we're going. Thanks for the callers. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for saying nice things about Ned.
Especially that bit.
The checks are in the post.
Disney boobs.
On that, see you tomorrow.
Bye.